topic Internal Security Part 1 in GS Mains Paper 3. We will cover internal security in multiple videos to make it comprehensive as possible so that it will help the aspirants. Internal security as a subject is of great importance in UPSC Civil Services Main Examination Paper 3. The introduction of various topics related to internal security challenges of India in this paper clearly shows the importance of these issues pertaining to national security. This video and other videos will collectively include all topics related to the internal security syllabus of GS Mains Paper 3. This video will expose the aspirants to all essential and important concepts for understanding India's internal security challenges. Please watch this video till the end. Any country, developed or developing, faces constant security threats both internally and externally. With the advent of technological sophistication, the nature and seriousness of these threats have increased manyfold, and the challenge to eliminate them is becoming more complex. The biggest challenge to a nation state is the protection of physical, political, and cultural identity of citizens. The internal security threat to the state is from a state and non-state actors and in physical and cognitive domain as well. However, the paradigm of internal security have now grown to include the threat from cyber, political warfare, transnational terror organizations, water scarcity, societal dissension, and black swan events such as coronavirus and technology. The most important duty of the government is to serve the people and guarantee the security of the citizens and the nation. National security is about the free will of the government to take its own decision and to maintain the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The policies enacted by the government to ensure the survival of the state with the use of military, economic, and diplomatic power in war and peace refer to internal security. Thus, it is an essential component of the overall security architecture of the nation. The state has been given the constitutional power and responsibility to protect the stability, harmony, and security of the citizen. Thus, the state as an organization can justify itself only by maintaining the peace, tranquility, and internal security. Managing internal security is a highly complicated and tedious process in a multifaceted country like India because various factors like geography, history, governance, economic development, socio-economic equalities, and socio-cultural customs have their own influence in the security of the nation. Not only regional factors, but also global factors play a proactive role in the internal security of the nation. The threat to internal security is vitally caused by organized or individual violence from state or non-state actors which are the violation of the law of the land. Many aspects of the threat cannot be differentiated. Still, there exist some fundamental distinctions between external and internal threats and also between external and internal security. So what is the difference between external and internal security? External security is from outside the state's boundary. Internal security is from within the national boundary. External security refers to violence by a foreign country. Internal security refers to sovereignty and territorial integrity to be considered. External security. Armed forces are responsible for safeguarding the country. In internal security, police force is responsible for maintaining public order. Ministry of Defense is the nodal ministry for external security. Ministry of Home Affairs is the nodal ministry for internal security. Now we move to the definition of internal security. Internal security is the process of maintaining peace within the boundaries of a sovereign state and other self-governing territories, usually done by maintaining national law. The liability to maintain internal security lies in the hands of the police, paramilitary forces and in exceptional cases with the military. Broadly, internal security can be defined as one that deals with a security situation that arises within the state boundary, therefore distinguishing itself from external security situations. Every civil service aspirant must have an idea about the term national security, which has a much wider connotation and scope. National security is a concept where a government should make sure that the state and its citizens are protected against all kinds of crises through its political, diplomatic, economic and military mind. Thus, internal security is the obligation of the state to protect its boundaries. The state has a vital responsibility in the form of preventing various kinds of crime, to protect the fundamental rights of the citizens, to make sure of the proper functioning of the democracy, to assure its citizens protection of life and property, and finally to create an atmosphere of peace and tranquility. The security forces play an important role in neutralizing the threat to the country's borders. Now we move to attributes of internal security. What are the attributes of internal security? The various attributes of internal security are: first, to safeguard the sovereignty of the nation; second, to protect domestic peace and tranquility; third, proper maintenance of law and order; fourth, equality before law and equal protection of the law; fifth, to ensure that people are free of any fear or oppression; and sixth, peaceful coexistence in communal harmony. Now, what are the major reasons, causes, and sources of internal security disturbance? There are many challenges to internal security. Some of them are as follows. First is lack of proper governance, which includes a feeling of alienation in citizens and electoral reforms, including intra-party democracy deficit. Second, improper labor laws, deficit financing, ineffective economic growth, benefits, development disparities, effect of subsidies, improper income distribution, and ineffective monitoring of government expenditure. Third, communal tensions, social injustice, societal divisions based on caste, language, and religion, ethnicity, and narrow-minded vote bank politics. Fourth is lack of effective technologies. Fifth is use of armed forces of the Union, that is the army, in counter-insurgency operations and in other internal security situations. Sixth is poor and outdated laws. Seventh, lack of political will to enforce the laws to maintain stringent internal security policy. Eighth, lack of effective policies to control media and other mass communication institutions. Finally, 9. Disparities in socio-economic development. Now, what are the traditional internal security challenges? The following are the challenges that are encountered in internal security conventionally. First is terrorism. Second is organized crime. Third is growth of militancy. Fourth is powerless multilateral institutions. Fifth is evolving multipolar world and shift of power towards Asia. Sixth is proliferation of nuclear and weapons of mass destruction. Seventh is instability in the Afghan-Pakistan region. Eight is maritime security. Nine is energy security. Now, what are the non-traditional internal security challenges? In a globalized era, new dimensions give rise to various internal security challenges. First, there are epidemics and pandemics. Second, cybersecurity threats. Third, climate change challenges. Fourth, disaster risk reduction and management. Fifth, small arms and light weapons proliferation. And sixth is environmental security threats. Now we move to traditional global internal security challenges. Interstate confrontation has reduced after the end of the Cold War. Various external forces now oppose the intra-state conflicts as the current situation is ripe. For example, in the Syrian crisis, Various countries have covertly supported either the regime or his opposition forces even when the internal situation in Syria did not escalate into war. One can also notice in conflict in the Middle East region like Yemen that the world countries have never shown much interest in taking sides. Thus, in the present-day context at the global level, internal security is threatened by the common sources and it has to be dealt with by the states and with the help of other similar-minded nations to curb the menace. The shifting of power towards Asia from the Western nations caused the present century to be called Asian century, and any vulnerability in this region would have a high potential to change the course of history in the globalized environment. The devaluation of Chinese currencies made a sound impact on many economies similar to the 2008 financial crisis. The foremost intra-regional threat now is terrorism. Different groups of terrorists have different demands, but the motive is the same, that of causing damage to life and property of innocent citizens. Terrorism is now spread in almost every region of the continent. The serious evolving threat is that the falling of nuclear warheads in the hands of terrorists due to the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction, and any situation like that would lead to great loss. The rise in militaries has never put countries into war, but the armed force is widely used to neutralize internal threats. Civil war-like situations across the world have increased the strength of armed forces and are indeed used to protect the ruling establishment. Being in the middle of the Golden Crescent and the Golden Triangle, India faces threat from drug traffickers and gun runners who use the instability in the region to establish an anarchical state. India, a subcontinent with a coastline of 7,600 kilometers, has had a bitter experience of terrorists arriving from the sea. For example, the 26/11 Mumbai attack, which was carried out by terrorists who hijacked a boat from Karachi, is the best example of maritime terrorism. Thus, maritime security includes terrorist threat, smuggling of narcotics, gun running and trafficking, which also pose serious internal security challenges to India. Conflicts in West Asia have reduced the investment in new technologies to efficiently produce hydrocarbons, and the reduction in hydrocarbon reserves and conflicts in the regions of high hydrocarbon reserves has increased concerns over energy security. Thus, we are left to face the situation of reduced output of hydrocarbon. If energy is not secured, the world may have to face a war of oil once again. India, being a developing nation, requires enormous amounts of oil for its sustenance. A number of reasons have been a hindrance in exploiting its energy reserves internally. India's energy security has been derailed by externally induced internal threats. That is all for now. There are many more exciting changes to come, and we are looking forward to sharing them with you. As always, I welcome any feedback as to how we can better serve you for superlative performance in civil services exams. Thank you for continuing to be a part of our journey.